Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my player ratings from Manchester United's loss to Middlesbrough in the FA Cup 4th round. As you all know, Middlesbrough won 8-7 on penalties. It was 1-1 after extra time. So anyway, I'll start with Dean Henderson. I'll give Dean Henderson a 6 out of 10. Dean Henderson didn't really have much to do. He made a couple of saves. He made a good save to deny Matt Crooks early in the second half. And he made a save in extra time to deny Aaron Connolly from close range. And obviously Henderson didn't save one penalty in the shootout. It was Dean Henderson's third appearance this season. There's a very good chance that Dean Henderson will depart the club in the summer. He should have left last month, but Manchester United blocked his exit. Henderson doesn't really get in goal much because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. Henderson has got that experience behind him because before he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, he's also had other loan spells before with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. Henderson's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. He signed a new long-term contract before the start of last season. Earlier on this season he had COVID for a while. Moving on to Diego Dalot. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he got forward well in the game, but his crossing was quite poor and didn't really have a lot of defending to do. Dalot has actually been impressive under Ralph Rangnick. Dalot is our first choice right back under Rangnick. Do you think he'll leave the club in the summer? Because Dalot has been subjected to transfer speculation before. Last season Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that he gained some experience. Manchester United got Diego Dalot from Porto a few years ago. Manchester United paid £19 million for him. His contract at Manchester United expires next year. Moving on to Rafael Varan, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought Varan played very well. I thought he brought the ball out well from the back. He was also very effective in the air. Varan, to be fair, has done well since he come back from that hamstring injury. Varan also did very well in the win against West Ham before the international break. He also played very well in the 3-1 win against Brentford. Most of the time when Varan plays, he seems to make the difference. Varan is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware Varan won when he was at Real Madrid. Manchester United signed Varan last summer for 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 34 million up front. He's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varan has endured 2 injuries since he signed for the club. He had a hamstring injury, and before that he had a groin injury, and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Moving on to Harry Maguire, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. All over the place at the back. I thought he was anonymous in the game, and he was caught out of position quite a few times. Manchester United need to sell Harry Maguire in the summer because he's not good enough to represent the club, and he's certainly not a leader. Earlier on this season, Maguire had a minor injury. Before then, he had a calf injury, and towards the end of last season, he had ligament damage in his ankle. So, reflecting on that, he's had a few injuries as Maguire. He's been at Manchester United over 2 years. Manchester United signed Harry Maguire in the summer of 2019, got him for £80 million, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and is the second most expensive signing at the club. Moving on to Luke Shaw, I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 6 out of 10. He put a pretty good performance out. Luke Shaw has just recovered from injury. Luke Shaw had a couple of injuries earlier on this season. He is injury prone, which is a concern. I think the only reason Luke Shaw played yesterday night is because Tellez wasn't available. Tellez, I think, recently picked up an injury. But revert back to Shaw, Shaw has endured a lot of poor games this season, and I'm shocked in that aspect because revert back to last season, Luke Shaw was very, very good. He's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Moving on to Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's going to get a 7 out of 10. Pogba was very good, especially in that first half. He was incisive on the ball. His movement was good. He also got into very good positions, and Paul Pogba won the penalty. I think Pogba did get a yellow card in the game. It was Pogba's first appearance in 3 months. He's just recovered from injury not so long ago, and he was out with injury for a while. Pogba's endured a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so he is injury prone. Don't forget, during the international break, he said Paul Pogba is willing to stay at Manchester United as long as Ralf Rangnick is manager for next season. Pogba has been impressed by Ralf Rangnick since his arrival, and it said Pogba would be open to signing a new contract. Pogba's contract at Manchester United expires in the summer. Was it a couple of months ago, the Sun came out and said that Manchester United offered Paul Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract. That would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history, but he actually came out and denied that he'd been offered that contract. This season has been his 6th season since he re-signed for the club. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. I can't understand why Pogba was substituted yesterday. He got taken off in the game. Moving on to Scott McTominay, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. McTominay didn't endure the best of games. And I'm shocked in that aspect because you've got to be honest and say McTominay has been one of our best performers under Ralf Rangnick. McTominay weren't brilliant against West Ham before the international break, but he played very well in the 3-1 win against Brentford because he was involved in the build-up to 2 of the goals in that game. He played very well against Aston Villa in the FA Cup 3rd round. He got man of the match, and the only goal that game came from a Mctominay header. Mctominay played very well against Norwich away last year, and he played very well on the opening day against Leeds. McTominay has been part of the club for a long time. Revert back to 2020, he signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United. Bruno Fernandez, he's going to get an 8 out of 10. Bruno Fernandez was everywhere on that pitch yesterday night. His work rate was very good. He played a precise ball to Jaden Sanchez for the goal. So obviously Fernandez got the assist for Sancho's goal. And Fernandez had quite a lot of chances in the game. Fernandez hit the post in the second half. That came from a mistake from Middlesbrough. I don't know how Fernandez didn't finish that. He's picked up form recently as Fernandez. Fernandez was also very good in the games against Brentford and Aston Villa in the league. He got 2 assists against Brentford, and he scored both of Man United's goals in the 2-2 draw against Aston Villa. Fernandez is one of our best players, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. A few weeks ago, The Athletic said that Bruno Fernandez rejected a contract offer from Man United. Bruno Fernandez contract talks are postponed until the summer, having turned down an offer last year. It says Fernandez was demanding similar money to the top earners at the club. Fernandez receives £100,000 a week at the moment. He's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. He's been a Manchester United player for 2 years. Man United signed Bruno Fernandez from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Jaden Sanchez, he's also going to get an 8 out of 10. What a game he enjoyed yesterday night. Probably the best game he's enjoyed so far as a Manchester United player. Sancho took his goal well. I think it did take a slight deflection. Sancho also made some very good runs. Sancho also had a great chance in the first 90 seconds. He hit the crossbar. Sancho's enjoyed a few good games since signed for the club. I also thought Sancho played well in the 3-1 win against Burnley in the final game of last year, but unfortunately was denied a goal in that game. He played very well in the games against Chelsea and Villarreal away because he scored in both of them games. And he did well in the first half against Crystal Palace last year. By the way, that goal yesterday was Jaden Sancho's first Old Trafford goal. So hopefully he can persist with these good performances. Because let's be honest, Sancho has not done as well as a lot of Manchester United fans expected. But it does take some players time to settle in. You know, revert back to when Man United had Solskjaer, they couldn't get the best out of Sancho because Solskjaer persistently played him out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in under Solskjaer. You know, Sancho enjoyed 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. Man United signed Jaden Sancho last summer for 78 million with add-ons included. We paid 73 million up front. He's under contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Prior to the game yesterday night, I think Sancho missed the last couple of games due to personal reasons. Moving on to Marcus Rashford, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He had a good game, Rashford. I thought he made some good runs in behind. He got in some good positions. You know, he had some chances, but unfortunately, he didn't convert them. Rashford has found some form recently. You know, Rashford scored the winning goal against West Ham before the international break. He came off the bench. Rashford also came off the bench and scored in the 3-1 win against Brentford. Reflecting on that, that ended Marcus Rashford's 3-month goal drought. You know, Rashford has endured a lot of poor games since he had that operation on his shoulder, and a lot of Manchester United fans, including me, have said that Rashford has not been the same player since he had that problem with his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder problem, and quite a few weeks ago he had a minor leg injury. Earlier on this season, it said Marcus Rashford was preparing to open contract talks with Man United. Rashford's contract at Man United expires next year. But Rashford, you know, he's been part of the club for a long time. You know, he risen up our academy. He's been a Man United player since the age of 7. He broke into our senior squad back in 2016, and since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. PSG have been targeting Rashford earlier on this season. Barcelona went in for him. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for Rashford. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. Ronaldo had a lot of chances in the game, but they were wasteful. And Ronaldo also missed a penalty. One of Ronaldo's chances came from an overhead kick. Ronaldo played against West Ham before the international break. And he was actually quite good in that game, to be fair. But actually prior to that game he was a doubt, because if you do remember rightly, he picked up a neck injury. But obviously he recovered from that neck injury. Ronaldo's had a few injuries since he re-signed for the club. Revert back to 3 weeks ago, Ronaldo gave an interview and he was very critical of the youngsters. So reflecting on that, he was demanding more from the youngsters. And obviously Ronaldo also said that Rangnick will do a good job at Manchester United, and he also said, I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said finishing below 3rd is unacceptable. Don't forget, Ronaldo was furious for being substituted against Brentford, but Rangnick defended his decision to substitute Ronaldo against Brentford. Ronaldo will leave Manchester United in the summer if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, and it said Ronaldo faces a 25% pay cut should Man United fail to qualify for the Champions League. Earlier on this season, reports from Spain said that Ronaldo could be heading back to Real Madrid. Before Ronaldo endured like 9.5 years at Real Madrid, that's before he went to Juventus, and Ronaldo's already asked his agent Jorge Mendes to find him another club because quite clearly he's unhappy at Manchester United. Since Ronaldo re-signed, he's scored 14 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Manchester United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million, with add-ons included. Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt, and his contract at Manchester United expires next year, Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. Manchester United brought substitutions on in the game. Fred came on. I'll give Fred a 7 out of 10 because, to be fair, I thought he made an impact when he came on. Juan Mata came on, just give him a 6 out of 10. Phil Jones also came on in the game, give him a 6 out of 10. And Anthony Elanga came on, I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Elanga had a couple of chances, but he didn't convert them, and Elanga missed the decisive penalty in the shootout, so Elanga cost Manchester United. It's a shame really, because Elanga has done well since he got into the first team, and I've mentioned so many times that he looks a very good asset for the first team squad. Elanga did very well against West Ham before the international break. He also did well against Brentford because he scored in that game. That was his first goal this season. He did very well in the 2-2 draw against Aston Villa because he had a couple of chances in that game, but unfortunately didn't convert them. Elanga's only the age of 19. He's been part of the club for a long time. He risen up our academy. He joined Manchester United's academy at the age of 12. Revert back towards the end of last year, he committed his future to the club because he signed a new contract with Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. So anyway, that is your player ratings from the Manchester United Middlesbrough game. But yeah, like I said on the match reaction yesterday, I don't know how Manchester United did not win that game. Look at the amount of chances Manchester United had, especially in that first half. I heard that Man United had, 30 shots in the game. We had 71% of possession. You know, Middlesbrough's equaliser was controversial. In the build-up to the equaliser, Duncan Watmore had handballed it. It was Matt Crooks that scored the equaliser. So for me, that Matt Crooks goal should not have stood. Rangnick, he gave his perception on the game. He said Manchester United have themselves to blame after the FA Cup exit. You know, Rangnick pinpointed out the chances that Manchester United had. Obviously, we was missing some players, but that's no excuse because Man United had a strong squad out. Obviously, there was no Cavani, he's been given time off. Obviously, there was no Lingard. There was no Eric Bailly. I think he recently picked up an injury. There was no Telles. Obviously, there was no Lindelof either. He's been out due to personal reasons. Was it the other week Lindelof's house got robbed? So there you go. And obviously you know the news on Mason Greenwood. Manchester United fans recently burnt their Mason Greenwood shirts. Greenwood's banned from England and Man United. He won't be able to train or play any matches. Last Wednesday, Greenwood was released on bail after his arrest. Greenwood's been arrested twice for sexual assault, making threats to kill, rape and assault. So reflecting on this, Greenwood's career at Manchester United is officially over. And his England career is also officially over. It's disgraceful what he's done, and not so long ago he was removed from FIFA 22. He's only the age of 20. From a Middlesbrough perspective, they'll be very delighted. Middlesbrough took 9,000 fans to Old Trafford. They showed very good support. Middlesbrough had some good performers though yesterday night. I thought that Matt Crooks played well. Obviously scored the equaliser. Like I said earlier on when I was doing my play ratings, he had a good chance in the second half that produced a good save from Henderson. Johnny Howson, he also had a very good game as well. Controlled that midfield. Howson is a former Norwich and Leeds player. Balogun, he also played well in the game. He got in some good positions. So there you go, and I think Middlesbrough only had one player missing, and that was Mark Boller. He's out with injury for the season. Don't forget, Middlesbrough knocked Manchester United out of the League Cup back in 2015. Prior to the game yesterday night, the last time Manchester United and Middlesbrough played each other was back in March 2017 when Middlesbrough were in the Premier League. Middlesbrough are in the Championship. They're 6th in the Championship. Obviously, their manager is Chris Wilder. Middlesbrough appointed him in last year to replace Neil Warnock. Chris Wilder has managed quite a few clubs in his managerial career. Before he managed Sheffield United. I remember when he was in the Premier League with Sheffield United. Before then, he managed Northampton. Before as well, he's managed Oxford and Halifax. And a while ago, he managed Alfred Town. So there you go, and it's just disappointing that Man United have been knocked out of the 4th round of the FA Cup. It's going to be another trophyless season now for Man United. I said, didn't I, the FA Cup was the only chance that Man United had of winning any silverware. Yeah, we are still in the Champions League, but I'm very sceptical we're going to win that. Manchester United have not won the FA Cup since 2016. Manchester United have won the FA Cup 12 times. So, anyway guys, we're doing another video soon. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.